Let's go over the basic concepts for this first assignment. I'm going to go ahead and do this along with you this time. You're not going to get one of these every single time we do an assignment, but being that this is your first time, I want to make sure that you're well aware of the concept. What I will ask you to do is be more creative and do not just create what I create and turn it in. If you do that, you probably won't pass the assignment. So just keep that in mind as we go forward here. All right, let's get started. We're going to use two polygon objects. One of the first ones I'm going to use is a cube. I'm going to hit R to scale, and I'm going to move this out of the way here. And let's use a cylinder. We can kind of play around with that a little bit. And I'm going to shrink mine down because I'm going to work smarter, not harder here, and you'll see why in a second. All right, I'm going to turn my wireframe on shaded, and this could be a great opportunity for my first screen grab. I don't really need my verts and edges right now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn those off. And by doing so, it's very easy to turn them on and off. We just go to UI Elements, Heads Up, or pardon me, we're going to go to Heads Up Display of our polygon. There we go, Poly Count, and turn that off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create a screen grab here, and they're going to just, I believe they're going to just go to my desktop. So I'm going to hit Command-Shift-4. And I'm going to just drag an area and take a screen grab. Command-Shift-4 on a Mac will take you a screenshot of what you have. So that's our very first screenshot. All right, now notice I have wireframe unshaded. This one you can't really see the wireframe unshaded. I can tell it's there because I can kind of see some blue. So just remember that you have that. Wireframe unshaded is this. Don't just highlight everything and take a picture. It won't work. So Command-Shift-4. Now, if you're on a PC, the print screen button will copy your screen grab and then you have to paste it. You can also download free screen grab programs online. All right, so what I want to do is I want to combine these two shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of line them up. Like I mentioned, I'm going to work smarter, not harder. And I'm going to use my space bar and go to my top view here to make it a lot easier for me. So I'm going to go and rotate this item. Make sure I rotate it in a single axis. And what I want to do is I essentially want to make sure, and put my wireframe unshaded in here, that these two items are pretty close in size, because this is going to be important when I go to weld them together. All right, so they're pretty close now. You can see I can probably scale it up just slightly. I'll move them apart so you can see. I'm not taking another screen grab yet because I haven't done anything. But let's go ahead and get ready to take a screen grab by deleting some faces. So I want to connect this face to this face. So the first step I'm going to do is make them hollow. So I'm going to delete that face and I'm going to delete this face, and that prepares them for the next step. So for this screen grab, I may, maybe I'll manipulate it this way a little bit. So maybe I'll have a shot of that widened. Let's unclick here and Command-Shift-4. Take a nice screen grab. Again, so now I have these two shots that are showing my modeling process. I want to keep up on that. You can always have more. If you have more on your screen, that's okay. And now I want to weld these together. Now, in order to weld two polygons together, you're going to actually have to combine your mesh. And to do that, you have to select one polygon, hold down your Shift key, and select your other polygon and do a mesh combine. There we go. So now we have one unified shape. The big problem of our unified shape is these edges are not together anymore. It's hollow. There's a gap between them. So let's go ahead and merge these edges. To do this, it's super simple. We're going to use something called the Target Weld tool. I love this tool. It's a very easy tool to learn, especially if you're a beginner. The Target Weld tool will do the following. You click on it under Mesh Tools, Target Weld, and then you select, if you want your edges, you select your edge, and you drag it to the edge you want it to connect to, and voila, it welds it together. And so you can kind of work your way down. I like to kind of work my way left to right sometimes. Those should weld together, but you never know. So when I'm done here, I have a nice shape. So I'm going to go ahead and take another screen grab because I've gotten somewhere. There we go. All right. I'm going to check my edges here. I'm going to hit W on them, make sure they're combined. Now I can start working on the process of manipulating this. So let's go ahead and let's take this face and let's scale it smaller, and let's extrude some of these other faces too here. Let's take every other face, and I kind of have an idea what I'm going to do now. There we go, and there we go. And I'm going to do my edit mesh extrude, and I'm going to pull those out, and I'm actually going to scale them in. You know why? Because we're trying to, I'm keeping things symmetrical here. So that's a good start. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen grab of that because that's a definite major change. And so you can see that I have screen grabs now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of them. Not bad, almost halfway done. So again, you're going to probably have a lot more screen grabs. Let's go ahead and let's grab the faces on the top. Let's paint that selection. It's a little easier, so we're going to go to our paint selection tool and simply paint over that selection. It grabs everything on the top only, which you painted, which is really nice. And let's do another extrude. And let's center that extrude, and I'm going to pull this up. And I'm going to, let's shrink this in. And I'll go ahead and unclick real quick here. Take another screen grab, because that's looking good. I'm going to undo so I can actually select those faces again. And do a edit mesh extrude again. And pull these up. And pull these out. That looks really good. So starting to get somewhere. Now, you know what we could do is I could grab those faces again, and I'm going to grab them from the side here and hit delete. And let's duplicate this whole thing. So let's hit Command Delete and take it to the top, and I'm going to go to scale and watch this trick. I'm going to look for my Y scale, my up and down, and I'm going to hit a negative number here and hit enter, and it will actually flip it. So now let's do that combine method again. So, actually this is a good spot to take a picture. There we go. So I'm going to grab both, and I'm going to do a mesh combine. And let's go in and do our target weld. Now, to grab a whole edge loop, you can just double click, and that works perfectly fine. You can merge your edges as well. So if you don't want to combine via edges, you can actually grab vertices, and I like to sometimes do this method. I pull them on top of each other, and I do a merge, and I drag on this threshold, and you can see it merges. So that was the edit mesh merge tool. So that's a really nice tool to have. And now we have a great shape. So we can take another picture. Let me actually take it right here. There we go. Looking good. Let's do some other stuff to it. Let's go ahead and grab the faces in the center, and let's do another extrude. Just having fun with it. Maybe make a cylinder, or pardon me, a sphere in here. Kind of has that feeling to it. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let's take another picture. And let's see, where are we at on our pictures? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost there. All right, we're gonna take this and let's play around with some other settings here. Let's maybe smooth this. So let's do an edit mesh smooth, or mesh smooth, I should say. And that really gives us a wacky kind of shape in there. So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to go to my settings for my smooth face that I just did, and I'm going to kind of play around a little bit with our smooth settings. I kind of like this. It's kind of working for me, so I'm going to stick with that, and I'm going to do another screen grab. So we have one more screen grab to go. Let's go and grab some vertices, and maybe let's rotate them. And let's kind of manipulate a couple of these rings of vertices so it looks like it's curling to the side. There we go. Let's take a screen grab. All right, so at this point, I have 10 screen grabs. All right, there they are. So I'm going to open my Adobe Acrobat, which is Adobe Acrobat. There we go. So let's open up that. And I'm going to do a file, create, and we're going to create a PDF. So combine files into a single PDF. Sure, that sounds great. I'm going to grab them. I'm going to drop them. It puts them in order, which is really nice. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll hit combine. Give it a second to kind of run through the stages. And there you are. So now I can scrub through and I see wireframe on shading on everyone. I'll do a file, save. We'll save it to, let's do it to the desktop. And I'm going to call this my last name, Matt. I think it's A1 is what I had you name it. And now I can submit this to your Canvas course. I have a nice little PDF. And this PDF shouldn't be very big. In this case, it's 811 kilobytes. You shouldn't be looking at tons of screen resolution. Notice how clear it is on my process. It's very clear that I welded these the right way and that they were welded together. I even could have probably added another picture of me, like with me selecting some of the areas in here. And it definitely doesn't, to me, look like the starting or end point. It doesn't look like these two shapes. So we've done a good job. This is a good starting point for you. For whatever you do, do not make my shape. That is my shape. You have to make your own. Good luck with it, and I hope you enjoy it.